Going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of New Era Prep Nightly on the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network. I'm your host, Christian Proscia. I'm joined here with my one and only producer, Mr. Steven Luker. Happy Labor Day, everybody! I appreciate you guys for tuning into this episode. I know y'all would rather be watching me than whatever the hell Florida State's about to do tonight, so I appreciate y'all tuning in. All in all, it was a pretty good weekend of football on the high school and college scene. My FAU Owls brought Michigan State down to the wire with a 16-10 loss. Second half shutout for the Coach Rock led defense, and the best team in the land, the Miami Hurricanes, the U, took a trip up to that terrible school in Gainesville, drained the swamp, sniped recruits, and turned it into Canesville, everybody. Shout out, Robbie. You took a fat L, my boy. Cam Ward for Heisman, everybody. Taking a trip out to my good friends out in Knoxville. Want to give a shout out to them boys, the Tennessee Volunteers, who most people don't know that I pull for. I am actually a Tennessee Volunteers fan as well, due to family reasoning. Not getting into that. I know it's definitely random. But Nico Yamaleva, absolute breakout performance. Great weekend of football on the college scene. But high school was just as good, everybody. Locally, week 2 of the high school football season has just wrapped up. We saw some banger games. We saw some blowouts. We even saw some upsets against some nationally ranked teams. Before we get into our special guest that's coming later today, I would like to give some final scores from the Quad County area. As usual, y'all know the drill out here. Starting off on the Thursday night slate, we've got the New Era Prep Game of the Week, number 2 West Boca versus number 5 Palm Beach Central. Like I predicted, West Boca did, myself and Dan, shout out to my special guest Dan Cavelli for coming out last Wednesday. Want to keep reminding everybody that I do bring a lot of guests on the show, so make sure everybody still follows them. But West Boca came out on top with a 28-7 victory. West Boca, like I predicted, 3 rushing touchdowns and 1 in the air. Bulls star running back Javian Mallory only played 1 drive, only needed to play 1 drive, so those rushing touchdowns came elsewhere, but I was still in the ballpark. We'll count it, everybody. Jupiter defended home territory for their home opener against Park Vista, 38-6 victory. Wellington High defeated Lake Worth 31-0. Boynton Beach defeated Olympic Heights 52-6. Boca Raton defeated Dwyer 35-6 in a little bit of a two-parter. They had a weather delay that postponed the second half until Friday afternoon. I took a quick stop down to Boca on my way to Heritage Plantation. Got to watch the tail end of that game. Boca Christian with a 26-6 victory over Smart N. Friday, this is where the majority of the games. Any big names out of Wellington this year? Yes, Wellington High has a very solid team led by sophomore quarterback Mr. Jonathan Paul. Really like what I've been seeing out of him. But I will get my Wellington correspondent, Mr. Jack Bartlett, on the show very soon. Maybe Wednesday. I'll see what he's going on. He's got a girlfriend now, guys. He don't like to text me back anymore. He's got a girl now. But Friday night, we had Spanish River defeating Seminole Ridge in a nail-biter, 27-23. Glade Central's on a hot streak, 20-14 victory over a very good Martin County squad. Love what I'm seeing out from Glade Central out in the muck. Cardinal Newman traveled all the way out to Tampa for their matchup against Carrollwood Day. 42-21 victory for the Crusaders. Took a little crusade out to Tampa, and they came back victorious. Was not a people's crusade. If you know, you know. Make sure you pay attention in history class, everybody. Pahokee defeated Inlet Grove 27-7. Tampa Jesuit traveled down to Benjamin, where they defeated the Bucks 31-3. Both Tampa games featured the winning team having an enjoyable bus ride home. That can't be said for Jonesboro from Georgia, who was mollywopped by the Atlantic Eagles 53-13. Another very strong performance from the number 1 ranked team in Palm Beach County. Royal Palm Beach is on a really hot streak. We're going to hear more about that later with a 59-19 victory over John I. Leonard. Jupiter Christian with a 34-27 victory over Oxbridge. The Eagles get back in the win column. Where were we? There we go. Santa Lucius defeats Palm Beach Gardens in a little bit of a nail biter. I heard it went down to the last couple minutes against Palm Beach Gardens 20-13. Somerset Canyons defeated Somerset Academy. Yes, Somerset won. Really obvious. In an overtime matchup, 27-21, senior quarterback Jaden Harrington punched in the final nail in the coffin with a rushing touchdown. St. Andrews defeated St. John Paul 46-0, and Dr. Joaquin Garcia defeated Suncoast 56-0. The Bulldogs had 35 points at the end of the first quarter. For those that don't know, that would be eligible to a second half running clock in just only 12 minutes of play. Very impressive performance from Garcia's offense. Really like what I'm seeing out of them. We're going to take a trip up to the 772, everybody, where it's kind of a rough week for the 772. Vero Beach with a 38-23 loss to Buchholz. Jensen Beach defeated Treasure Coast on a last-minute field goal, 9-7. John Carroll, there we go. John Carroll defeated Okeechobee 40-0. Centennial lost to Davenport 28-0. Sebastian River beat Tradition Prep 58-0. And St. Edwards beat the Space Coast, who actually is the coolest mascot I've ever seen. I really like it's kind of like a FAMU Rattler looking mascot, but they defeated the Space Coast 18-13. A real football score. Was not expecting that. Like I said earlier, we had a national upset out here. Blanche Ely defeated Chaminade Madonna, who is one of the highest ranked teams in Florida. 35-34, blocked field goal to end the game as regulation expires. There's a little bit of a block party down in Pompano. Pretty solid win for Blanche Ely. Really good confidence booster going into this week. Chaminade now falls to 0-2. There's a couple question marks concerning that and with their future matchup against American Heritage this weekend. More on Heritage in a quick second. St. Thomas Aquinas, 51-0 victory over Boyd Anderson. The Raiders handled business for the FAU fans. Logan Husband did not play. Offensive lineman did not play in this game. And Brandon Hoke only played one drive and had a 50-yard catch. The Raiders pulled starters very early or just didn't even play them due to just the level of difficulty. American Heritage defeated Western 52-12. Myself and Dan were at that game alongside New Era Prep staff members Deontay Johnson and JP Tyrone. Very solid win for Heritage. Diabell Masterclass, five touchdowns on the day for the 2026 Texas recruit. Their star wide receiver, Malachi Toney, with another 200-yard, 2-touchdown, really 250 all-purpose yard performance. Really great showing out of Malley. Monarch versus Deerfield, a game that I was very interested to see how it would go. Postponed due to weather. I do not have a current score, but the game will be resumed tomorrow evening. West Broward lost to Camden County 52-29. Taking a trip down to the 305, my favorite spot to go. Miami Northwestern traveled up to Venice, defending state champions. 48-42 loss in an absolute nail-biter. Teddy Bridgewater's squad gets their first L of the season. Excuse me, guys. I just ate dinner. I've got a little bit of the burps, trying to keep them under wraps. Miami Norland defeated Carroll City 36-10. The Vikings are on a hot streak after their kickoff classic loss to Armwood. They've looked good and they have looked dominant. Miami Central handled business against rival Miami Edison. I was out at the game. Starters did not play until the second half. 54-7 victory for the Rock Boys. For the UF fans that are still licking their chops about the unfortunate but God willing L against the Canes, Nashawn Montgomery had a touchdown. Columbus, 14-10 loss against Our Lady of Good Counsel from Maryland. I've never heard of that school, but a very wordy name. Thank God they have an acronym. Unfortunately, the acronym isn't good as well. And then Homestead took an L to South Dade, 14-7 loss. I'd like to circle back up to Palm Beach County a little because those are all the marquee matchups of the Quad County area. I'd like to go back to the Palm Beach area where we can talk more about the New Era Prep game of the week. The West Boca versus Palm Beach Central matchup. Very solid performance for West Boca. Loved what I saw out of their offense. Most people going into the year just thought that Javian Mallory was going to have 40 rushes every game. Yeah, that's not happening. Mason Mallory, like I've said previously, has really developed as a passer. I really like what they're doing. They have a 2 QB set with Mallory and Trey Moran. Trey Moran ran in a touchdown. Mason Mallory passed in a touchdown. And then the Bulls had 2 other rushing touchdowns from Jaden Lockhart. Really solid performance offensively. Like I said, love what they're doing in the pass game. They appear to be using a lot of RPOs, tunnel screens, and option plays. Really keep defenses on their toes. If they're able to do that without having Mallory on the field and having such an effective night on the passing game, especially in the option, I'm very excited to see what the Bulls will do offensively in the upcoming future when Mallory's back to quote-unquote full health. The Bulls' defense was lights out as ever. Front 7 was awesome. Demetrius Gathers, Maxwell Reed, Xavier Reed, all in all, great performance from the Bulls' front 7. And then on the secondary, West Boca's DB duo of Jaden Broadnax and FAU commit Damon Allen was as good as ever. Allen, who transferred from Palm Beach Central during the summer, caught a pick against his former team. He was having a pretty good game. Emotions were high for Allen's homecoming game. Really liked what I saw from Damon. Also had 2 PBUs. Jaden Broadnax had a tip that turned into an interception later in the game, and he also came away with multiple PBUs and tackles. Really shutout performance from the Bulls defense. Won't say shut down, not shut out, because Palm Beach Central did get on the board with a Nedrick Bolden touchdown. I believe that is his 2nd of the year. Whatever Palm Beach Central needs, as always, Nedrick Bolden comes through with it, being one of the most dynamic receivers in the county. Palm Beach Central now will face Spanish River on Friday night. I will be attending that game. And like I said a little bit earlier, West Boca has a bye week. Bye week in week 2. I like it. So now I just yapped for a very long time. I'm very thirsty. So we are going to take a quick commercial break. DJ Luker's going to get back on the turntables. Maybe we'll get a little bit better of a mix than what we got last week. The pressure's on for you, Steven. I know you're shaking in your boots now. But when we get back, I will be joined by a local quarterback who has had himself a breakout first 3 games. Stay tuned, everybody. Welcome back, everybody, to the bottom of the hour on the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network. Welcome back to New Era Prep Nightly. It's your boy Christian Proscia. Y'all know me. Y'all love me. We had Steven out here playing some boxing. Maybe we want to spar with somebody. I don't know, but I am joined here with my very good friend, Mr. Max Greiner from Royal Palm Beach, who has had an absolute breakout start of his sophomore season. Max, how you doing today, my friend?
Good. How about you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for hopping on the show. I know it's Labor Day. I appreciate you taking time out on a holiday to hop on the show and get a little alone time from the family. Give you a little break. I know you wanted a little time, but thank
Yeah,
you for hopping on.
no problem.
But Royal Palm has been making some noise to start the season. A lot of people did not project the early success that Royal has. Starting out 3-0, 2-0 in regular season play. You have been one of the real keys to success on this Royal offense, tallying 700 total yards, 9 touchdowns, and throwing no picks in the first 3 games. Let's break down those performances a little. What did you like? What do you think we could build off of in the next couple weeks? How can we get better and stay red hot?
I think the key to success for the first 2 games were definitely building team chemistry. We had a lot of transfers this offseason, so just getting in with them, throwing when practice is over, just putting in extra work when needed, and all that plays a part in the game when we're throwing because we're a pass team. So just every extra day helps with the throwing and stuff.
As a quarterback, being able to develop chemistry with your receivers very early, like you said, especially when it's all a newer system, newer guys, newer faces. Quarterbacks don't usually just click like that right away with their receivers. What was that time outside of practice like? Just like you said, getting those extra repetitions and really getting that connection of, hey, when this guy cuts, I know it takes him this long
Yeah.
to get here, and just stuff like that.
Well, we played 7-on-7 together, some of us, so that definitely helped a lot, and that gave me a lot of confidence with coming to Royal Palm. And then the other receivers, it was just hard work, honestly, just going to the fields when practice is over on Saturday, Sunday mornings, getting it in, and just knowing it would come to this, having success like this, and we do it. So
Being a quarterback, a lot of people like to say that quarterbacks really don't benefit from 7-ons. However, as far as timing and chemistry goes, would you say that that was definitely a big impact on being able to develop and cultivate that relationship with your receivers?
yeah, definitely.
So now, how have you really been able to become such a dynamic athlete like you are, both dominating both in the pass game and on the ground? Because you're very sneaky athletic, my friend. You've already got 100 rushing yards and a touchdown. That's pretty impressive. So how have you been able to really manage and play into your athleticism?
The throwing game, I have to give it all to Coach Oliver Bozeman down in Fort Lauderdale. He's helped me tremendously with reading the pocket, the coverages we break down on game day. I meet with him 2 days a week. He teaches me like ball accuracy, literally everything. Everything in the QB throwing is all to him, footwork, everything to him. And then speed, like the rushing and stuff, is Coach Garish. He helps me with explosiveness, agility, cuts, and stuff like that. So definitely to them too, for sure.
So it's actually funny that you brought up Coach Bozeman because last week on my show, Mr. Jiron Hewley was singing Coach Bozeman's praises just like you are. How
Yep.
have you really seen? Because he has some guys out there. I went out there. We spoke about him a little earlier, but we had Diabell, we had Jiren. I believe you were out there that day. Zach Katz from Chaminade. All of these, Austin Simmons, who just threw his first touchdown at the
Mhm.
collegiate level at Ole Miss. You have all of these high level guys working with Coach Bozeman, as well as on the side he trains NFL quarterbacks. How have you really seen your game improve of where it's this dude trains the best of the best, and I know if I buy in, I can be the best of the best like them.
Most definitely, definitely paid off. I mean, I started training with him about 6 months ago, 2 days a week, and it's just from every like literally every coverage you put in front of me, I can tell you what it is. Like it just helps with everything. Like before, I couldn't really read coverages. Now, like just I could see where the DB is, and I know cover 1, 2, 3, 4 high, whatever, and just helps me with everything. So very grateful for him to be helping me out.
I was just about to ask, where have you seen, because you're still a very young quarterback, like I said, you're only in your sophomore year,
Hmm.
taking the jump from your freshman year to now, What has been the biggest point of maturity that you've seen in your game?
Um, I mean, I was still able to throw pretty well last year, but I mean, I got hurt, so like you couldn't really see what I could really do. But definitely reading the pocket, stepping up in it, and like just being more calm. Really, I mean, knowing what I'm gonna go. Like before, I wasn't with Bozeman, so I wouldn't really know what. Like I watched film with him, stuff like that. So just more prepared. Honestly, preparation is a big key to the success with him. So definitely preparation.
And now that preparation has really paid off. And I know that your coaching staff at Royal agrees because Coach Kenyon is now in year 3 at Royal. And it's the hottest start that you guys have had to begin a season in a very long time. What was the preparation throughout spring ball and summer workouts like to start off hot right out the gate?
I mean, we for like I said before, we had a lot of transfers, so it was like everyone still got to get used to each other. It wasn't like we've been there, we've been working with each other for a while. So definitely just practicing and grinding every day, getting through it in the summer, and just working, watching film, getting our practice sessions in, and just work.
And then that on top of the 7-ons, like you said, really helped develop chemistry with the underrated stars on this offense, featuring yourself, Demetrius Roll, Jahari Walker, Demetrius Gibson, James Smith, Nico Botero. The list goes on and on. What makes this core so special? What do you see as the quarterback of where it's, hey, I know I have the best skill guys in South Florida?
Speed from height, agility, the hands. I mean, their film doesn't lie. I mean, they catch every ball thrown to them. I couldn't ask for a better receiver core for sure.
And then I've been seeing the quote unquote the new Royal all over my social media feed. You've been a big part of promoting this new Royal. What is the true meaning behind that? Because words are words. How do you act into the new Royal?
Definitely the mentality of it. I mean, they didn't have the best years before, so I mean, just the new Royal. Honestly, players, coaching mentality, just knowing we're gonna go in, handle what we have to do, and just win the game.
And then that you did, especially coming in as a transfer. I almost said freshman. You're not that young yet.
No.
I've hit unk status though. That's okay. But coming in as a transfer, what really sold you on this is the place of where I'm going to make myself known?
The OC, I've had like I said, 7-on-7. I think I was 14. I played with them for 2 years and just honestly just felt locked in with them. To be honest, like never, just always treated me right. Always had the best play calls. Never like always like just in my best interest. So very happy about that, and just stayed in touch, and we just got with the receivers and clicked.
I want to talk about the last week's matchup against John I. Leonard. You had 215 yards, 4 touchdowns, very high QBR. I don't remember the exact number off my head. You, once again, haven't thrown a pick yet. But 2 of those touchdowns came in way to Demetrius Gibson, who totaled 115 yards, 5 catches, and 2 scores. He's a very young kid. He's a freshman. What is it like being able to get him impacted early in this offense?
I mean, that was the player I played 7-on-7 with, so I can. I mean, the numbers don't lie. I definitely see like the connection already, but he's just open. He knows he's smart. He knows how to sit in the open field. He won't run into coverages. He definitely knows what he's doing at a young, just being a freshman. But very happy with him.
How have you seen his game really improve over time? Like you said, you grew up playing sevens with him, and now while the pads are on, because we all know there are some receivers who are really good at 7-ons, and
Yeah.
there's others where they're really good with the pads on. Sometimes it doesn't click,
hmm
one or the other. How have you seen him really step up and mature, like I said, with you over time?
I mean, we just know what. Like, say we have a pass play, he has a route, and the corner's on it, and I tell him like I'll give him a hand signal. He just knows run the seam up the middle and touchdown. That's what happened with John I. So just adjusting to me, really reading me, and just he knows what the defense is in all the time. So just film studies and connecting.
As a quarterback, we just talked about it a little with adjustments. Adjustments and audibles are the name of the game, really being able to keep you, your offense, and the defense on their toes because when guys are in motion and things are changing, people sometimes get scared, they pee down their pants a little. and then, like you said, touchdowns happen. How have you seen yourself really mature as a commanding voice of an offense? Because now everybody, all eyes are and all ears are on you.
Just relaxing and stepping up is a big part of it. Getting them to build trust in me putting my trust in the receivers and everything. Like the 50-50 balls, I gotta start throwing those a lot more. Just putting our trust in each other and just big stuff happens.
Hey man, you know what game I'm going to in the next couple weeks. I expect a lot of 50-50 jump balls out of that. Please give me a couple highlight plays to put on
Yeah,
the
we're throwing them. We're throwing them.
couple blur balls. Does Royal Palm, does the student section get screaming blur the way that a couple of the other schools do, or no?
Yeah, they get pretty hyped. I mean,
It's no Traz, but it'll do.
not in. It'll do. It'll do.
Not yet, not yet. Not until your senior year when you guys have really cemented yourselves as the top dogs in this county. But across the board, this is a nitty gritty team. Everybody is straight dogs. There is a lot to prove this year. What is the mentality of this locker room like that you've seen?
Focused and ready to play. I mean, just knowing. Just a big thing is trust. They trust me to go out there and throw the ball, make completions, and score, and that's what we do. So, just a big thing is trust and connection.
How would you describe your game? Like if you could close your eyes and either a dude that's playing on Saturdays or Sundays of where it's I really like how this dude operates, who would you say that is for you?
Like Josh Allen, he has a strong arm and he runs. I run the ball, so I mean, definitely a dual threat.
I like it. Are you hurdling people like Josh Allen is?
No,
Not yet. Let's not test any theories.
no,
Just
no, I'm not hurting nobody. No.
you don't got the hops, or you
I'll
just don't.
get hurt. I don't want to get hurt.
That's true. Because
Yeah,
when you're up in the air, you're a defenseless target. So
yeah, I'm not
yeah,
jumping.
please don't, please don't, please don't. But I know I know the saying. The next game is the best game. That's one that everybody focuses on. I don't want to hear the coach talk right now, but the back half of your schedule is absolutely insane, featuring two current top 10 teams on the county power rankings, as well as two honorable mentions within a 5 week span. As a leader, how have you really been able to keep everybody's eyes fixed on what's happening next week as opposed to a couple of weeks down the road where, say, you guys go to West Boca?
I mean, it's just one game at a time. Every game we treat it the same. Obviously, West Boga is a tougher opponent. That's our hardest game on the schedule, West Boga. So that game preparation is going to be serious. Everything's going to be obviously a lot more intense. So that's our hardest game. And then after that, Palm Beach Gardens. But West Boga is definitely our toughest game. And just one game at a time. If you think forward, then take your eyes off your opponent, and bad things happen. So.
Like you said, West Boca is a tough opponent. They're probably the toughest opponent on a lot of people's schedules. If not, I really feel sorry for them because they've
Mhm.
had to play some really hard teams at some point during the year.
Yeah.
But being able to just change the narrative of Royal Palm Beach, that seems like the name of the game for you guys. How have you, or what are you going to do to turn Royal Palm into the, oh crap, we got to play them, not the, oh, okay, let's schedule them for homecoming, let's schedule them for senior night. How have you started to change that narrative?
Just doing what we're doing, honestly. A lot of just preparing for the games the same way we are, and I mean, just doing what we're doing, honestly.
I broke down a lot of your film because I've got no time, or I've got a lot of free time and no life. So I spend a lot of it breaking down a lot of people's film. And what I like about you is your ability to execute on all levels. Like we talked about your dual threat ability, but you're able to launch it. You're able to have a good medium, a good short ball, and you're really good on the screens and the options. Being able to operate a relatively modern style of offense, how have you seen that start to prepare yourself? Where if you watched college football this Saturday or a little bit of preseason, where it's what we're doing is going to translate my game to the next level.
I mean, we're a spread team. We throw the ball a lot, so definitely just watching college football, them throwing the ball like 50% of the time, it just gives me more confidence in it, honestly, because, you know,
Earlier this summer, you secured your first D1 offer to Bowling Green. First off, congratulations. Golf claps in the chat from everybody. But being a younger guy, still, being a younger guy, how have you started to navigate the college recruiting process while also making sure that, hey, I'm a weapon on the field, but I'm a quote unquote, as the kids like to say, I'm an academic weapon?
Um, I have a great recruiter for the college stuff, Joe Minto. Shout out to him. He's getting me hooked up with colleges right now with the game day visit this week in the UF. You don't like them, but um, and then West Virginia in 3 weeks. He's definitely taking care of a lot while I can do my schoolwork with Jerry Rice Preparatory. I have a 4.5 GPA right now, so I think I'm fine on school, and yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
4.5 GPA, ladies and gentlemen. I did not have that in high school. Let's maybe drop it down a GPA point or two. Still stayed academically eligible for my athletic endeavors, but definitely wasn't the absolute nerd sitting to my right now. But being able to go out on these recruiting trips, like you said, you're going up to Canesville on next weekend. Yup. We drained that swamp, boy, and then being able to go up to West Virginia in a couple weeks. What are you looking forward to about those trips?
Just experience really because getting to watch the games. I mean, I don't really go to college games, so it's very exciting, especially at a big school like those two, and just experience. I mean, the locker room and stuff. Never seen those, so just really excited about that and meeting the coaches and building a relationship.
Were you real? Did you take part in any of the summer like camps? I know FAU just popped up, but this is a off the dome question. Like the local ones, whether it was like the seven ons or the skills camp, either like FAU or Miami. Were you going out to
Um,
those?
yeah, the skill camps I was at the Miami one, the FIU, the FAU. I didn't go to. I was supposed to go to that one. I think I was sick, but I didn't attend that one. I went to a couple skilled camps though.
Okay, and then being able to go out to those, what do you think the biggest benefit and takeaway of where it's you could tell a guy younger than you, hey, go out to one of these camps because finish the sentence.
Because wait, what?
No, like you're finishing the sentence. What's the biggest benefit of going out to?
Oh, okay. Building a relationship and just experience. I mean, not everybody goes to college for football, so getting there while I mean, you can pretty much is definitely a big thing. Meeting the coaches, being in the indoor facilities and stuff like that is definitely a big up.
Yeah, the Miami facility is absolutely awesome. It's
Yeah, it's nice. It's really nice.
this over this and definitely over this, really over this. My friends at West Boca, I am horns downing USF, but this will always reign supreme. Remember that. Got to teach them young. But being a high level football player, being a football player in general, but especially you being high level, you don't have a lot of free time on your hands like me. Unlike me, actually, I have way too much free time. But when you do have a couple days off, what are some things that you enjoy doing outside of football related activities?
Um, well, what I mean, I still do football, whether it's not like structured, but I'll go throw at the fields, like with receivers or even my teammates, or just for fun. Do that, fishing, and that's really it. To be honest, I don't really. I mean, do 5 days a week. I'm busy, so
He's an absolute Florida boy out here, just getting the fishing rod ready to go, and just what do you like to fish? Do you like to do freshwater or saltwater?
salt water.
What's the biggest thing you ever caught?
150 pound tarpon.
Damn.
Yeah.
Biggest thing I ever caught was my drive to a sushi restaurant. That's
Well,
best I can do. I don't have the patience to go out and fish. And now this is a question. I know I sent you the questions, and I told you I'd ask you a couple follow-ups, but this is one that I had that I didn't send it to you because I want the pure emotion where you can actually like whatever off the cuff.
okay.
What gets you out of bed in the morning?
Football.
All right, let's dive in that a little deeper. When when it's a Friday morning, you're waking up for game day.
Game day. That's what gets me up every day. I wake up in the throwing position. I mean, that's just I mean, definitely. I don't know. I just get excited for it.
So now about what? Being able to run out the tunnel or run out? Is it
Being
throwing?
able to play with my
What?
teammates that I put in a lot of work with. So like the whole summer, the spring, that stuff, like it just pays off, and that's honestly what I get excited about, knowing what we're gonna go do.
And now my next follow up question for you is 3-0 start, unblemished, undefeated. What can we expect for Royal Palm for the remainder of this season?
I mean, hopefully to keep doing what we're doing. I think we're honestly just getting better week by week, putting in work, adjusting things, defense and offense, and just getting better as the season goes on.
Max, I want to thank you so much for your time, my brother. Thank you for hopping on. Like I said, I know it's a holiday. I know some people, I don't know why they weren't raised right, would rather be watching the Florida State game right now than watching this well organized show. But thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you coming on. And I look forward to seeing what you've got coming soon. I will be in attendance coming soon. You know where I'm at. I don't want to crystal ball for everybody else. I like surprising people on.
2 weeks. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks, my
Two
friend.
weeks. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Have a good one, my friend.
All right, you too.
All right, now, Stephen. Well, there we go. Just me, guys. Look at this handsome face. I know y'all would rather be looking at Max, maybe a little bit of Steven. But Max Griner, everybody. Like I said, one of the top quarterbacks in South Florida, and he's only a sophomore. Kid is going to be special. But I've got really nothing else for you guys tonight. I planned this episode to be a little bit of a shorter episode, just to really. I want to watch the Florida State game. Shh, don't tell my friends in the Canes community. They might get a little mad. I want to see Florida State lose again tonight. But thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Wanted to wish everybody once again a happy Labor Day. I've also got some homework to do. Don't tell my mom, guys. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Hope everybody has a great rest of your night and a safe Labor Day. Check back in with you guys on Wednesday night. Have a good one, everybody.